Okay, you can start, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening. So this is Advanced General Psychology 2, Chapter 1, Emotions. So I'll start with the basic difference of between feelings, mood, and feelings, mood, and emotions. You can think of emotions being a temporary, uh, momentary expression. Uh, Mood is somewhat longer. It is somewhat with lesser intensity than emotion. Feeling is much more longer. Feeling is a long-term notion about a person, an object, or something like that. See, you can say, see, for example, let's say Kerala. I am feeling really wonderful about Kerala. Whenever I think of Kerala, some good feelings come to my mind. So that is feeling. Mood is like you can prolong in a day or two or a week. That's all. Whereas emotion is a momentary thing. That moment or that particular day. That's all. So our theory started discussing about emotions, how to define it. So the first point that came to them is it is a very complex thing to define. See, joy, sorrow. The PPT we just listed the few emotions. Everything is actually it is not it cannot be separated. See, joy is a combination of several things. We experience joy because of some achievement, some happiness. Somebody came and appreciated us, or something like that. So we ate good food, or something like that. So everything is a combination of things. So emotion is a very it's a complex concept, and it is subjective and based on the individual's knowledge or the yeah. I think I'll have to go and sit in a different room. One second, just give me a minute. Is it better now? Hello? Is it better? The voice is better? Yeah, yeah. I'll go on.
Yes, yes.
So these people started analyzing this complex concept among animals, among humans, and they started to develop theories of it. So the definition. So again, there are various definitions which are given in a text, and also see for this class I referred our Bernstein, Berler A. Bernstein, our own text, and some of the NCRT books. Okay, so there are various definitions uh, for our theory. As I can go to the next slide. Madam. For our exam point of view, you can say emotion is a subjective feeling. It's a complex series of complex psychological events involving physical and behavioral reactions to internal and external events. This we can have it as our definition. So it plays a fundamental role in our own life, our decisions, our interactions with the external world, and our long-term well-being. In our previous semester in positive psychology, we learned about subjective well-being. So emotions play a solid role in all of this. So it is a mixture of a physiological response, an expressive reaction, and a subjective experience. Yeah. So about emotions, um, um, see, actually, there are a wide range of emotions. Some of the theories have tried to jot down these emotions. The basic thing are anger, disgust, fear, happiness, sadness, and surprise. Mr. Izzard, he tries to make it to, he expand it to 10 emotions: joy, surprise, anger, disgust, contempt, fear, shame, guilt, interest, and excitement. Uh, as I said earlier, we experience a combination of some of these emotions at times, a blending of two or three emotions together. So Mr. Plitchik, he in his theory, he talks about eight basic emotions. That is joy, sadness, acceptance, disgust, fear, anger, and surprise, anticipation. Um, this Mr. One second. Yeah, this Mr. Plutchik is actually responsible for one of our theory. And theories I'll concentrate tomorrow because otherwise it will be too overbearing for all of us. So I'll try to deal with emotions, uh, what are the psychological basis of emotion, cultural basis, and then the cognitive basis. And in physiological part, I'll try to deal more because in our text, it is given. I mean, they cover more of it. The limbic system, autonomous nervous system, reticular system. They try to cover more of it. So this part I'll try to cover today. Um, so emotions actually they vary in the intensity, quality. Intensity meaning, see, anger, a sudden spurt of anger will be extremely high, high intense emotion. Whereas a feeling of elation or a feeling of, um, see, for example, we may have toiled for months together and we may have achieved something. Though it is low, it is a solid emotion we feel. But though it is seldom expressed or it is less intense, it is equally good in emotion. So that is about the intensity and quality. See, happiness depends. Again, happiness may be if say if we teach someone, that is also sometimes a part of happiness. But at the same time, when there's an achievement involved, that happiness is more. We tend to cherish it. We tend to keep on flourish. Remember that and go on flourishing about it. So that is about quality. No, madam. Previous slide. I'm talking about the intensity and quality. Am I not audible? Yeah. Somebody said they are not able to hear.
Yeah.
Okay. So again, these emotions, no, they vary from gender. They vary from the individual person. Again, our health also matters. So the all these things have an effect on our emotions. See, there are multiple evidence that say that women experience emotions better, more intensely than men, excepting anger. Okay, uh, there are multiple evidences for that. And whereas men are proved to experience and express emotions of high intensity, a sudden spurt of anger, uh, or say if we have winning something, winning some match or something, a sudden spurt of uh, the Boston Boston படம் சொல்லுவாங்க வெற்றிக்குறி மாதிரி. They will express it suddenly, but women are tend to women tend to experience emotions better. So naturally, what happens? This fundamental emotions, it is linked to the quality of the person. Men are more competitive, more involved in uh, what shall I say, more interested by competitive urge, whereas women are more they tend to go more soothing, more caring aspects. They tend to have people together. They want to cherish being with people. So this is actually a direct reflection of the emotions they enjoy. Actually, we can move to the next slide. So the psychological basis. I've given a small example. That is this madam Divya. She's very desperate to get a job. She's prepares well. She's so confident. But when she enters the room, suddenly she becomes nervous. She becomes tense. Heavily, her heart starts beating, and as a result, she is unable to answer this interview, attend the interview properly. So why does this happen? Uh, we may have experienced the same in our own lives. There are. Can you think about the reasons behind this? If you go and delve on it, you go to reflect on it. Uh, we can come to the conclusion that our own physiological changes that happen to us. See, we many of us would have experienced that butterfly thing in the stomach. Now, all these things are actually components of emotions, the physiological aspects which affect our emotions. So, so this is about the physiological base of emotion. This experience of emotion is actually a result of many changes in our limbic, autonomous nervous system, and our reticular system. Okay, so there are many um, parts of our body that are involved. That is thalamus, hypothalamus, hippocampus, amygdala. Likewise, many things are there. I'll try to touch upon it. Also, in a text also, this is given that actually whenever some person experiences some injury in these areas, these parts what I just told, experience some injuries, they tend to have some impaired emotions. Uh, See, even you might have heard of bipolar disorder. Okay, that again is actually happens actually because of some damage to any of these areas in their young age or whatever. So all these things contribute to arousing different emotions from our young age to our adult age. Can move to the next slide. So the physiology of emotion. Nervous system, the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system actually plays a vital role. These are the I've just highlighted the main thing, that is thalamus. The next, I think in the next slide, we have the picture of the limbic system. I'll cover in depth when I go there. But I'll just touch upon that is thalamus. It is actually composed of a group of nerve cells which acts as a uh, relay center of our senses, our sensory nerves. Stimulation of thalamus actually produces fear, nervousness, anxiety, and several autonomic reactions. So a researcher, two researchers, namely Cannon and Bird, they gave a detailed theory of the role of thalamus in uh, mediating and initiating all these emotional experiences. We'll cover the theory tomorrow. Then there is hypothalamus. It is considered the primary center for regulation of emotion. That is, see, uh, basically homeostasis is nothing but a state of when everything is in optimum, something like an equilibrium, no? Uh, our adrenaline, all these hormones, all these organs. When there is a state of equilibrium, that is what is called as a homeostasis. So this hypothalamus, it is it plays a crucial role in maintaining that homeostatic balance. It controls the autonomic activity. It is a very important secretion of these hormones endocrine from our endocrine glands, and they organize the somatic pattern of our emotional behavior. And then the limbic system, along with the thalamus and hypothalamus, the limbic system also plays an important role in the regulation of emotion. And there's an organ called amygdala. See, there is huge research that has been done on this amygdala. If you just browse through the internet, yeah, homeostasis, correct. I've just given a brief expansion. What is homeostasis? See, even in AECs, they have this homeostasis concept. Only when this homeostasis, our systems tend to function normally. Okay, it is actually a controlled and a regulated uh, uh, position or an occurrence in our body. Okay, so cortex. Cortex is much more intimately involved in emotion. See, I'm not a doctor or a biological person, so uh, people with biological background can also pitch in. Uh, so cortex is involved in much more intimately involved in our emotions. This is our cerebral cortex. So these hemispheres have a contrasting role to play. Uh, Yes, ma'am. So the left frontal cortex is generally more associated with our positive feelings, whereas the right frontal cortex is associated with the negative feelings. So how far we manage, how far we prevent any injury to our right frontal cortex, we will be tend to be emotionally more stable. Okay, now you can move to the next slide. Yeah. In our text, actually, they are dealing with emotions and all, ANS. Um, as I said in our this one, our Bernstein, our Burgers and Bernstein, this part, no, autonomic nervous system is covered in depth. So I just try to make a crux of it and bring this PPT. I'll just quickly run through. So there are three systems. There is the limbic system, autonomic nervous system, and the reticular activating system. Okay, these three constantly interact among themselves uh, in uh, in uh, and they help us in experiencing those emotions. So the limbic system actually involves structures like amygdala. Madam, you can go to the slide where there is a picture of it, so people can have a look. Yeah. Zooming in. Okay. Uh, there is the corpus callosum, fornix, pineal gland, and then the components is cerebrum, cingulate gyrus, parohippocampal gyrus, hippocampus, and the small portion, no, in the, at the bottom. That is what is called as amygdala, amygdaloid body, and then mammillary body, hypothalamus, anterior group of the thalamic nuclei, comprehension of diencephalon. I think this is in our text also. You can go through that. Madam, to the previous slide. Uh, so, um, the autonomic nervous system actually regulates the physiological responses. Physiology meaning our body. Physiology is basically is a study of all our functions, how we tend to function. Okay, so this autonomous nervous system plays a crucial role in the physiological responses to emotions. There are two main parts, that is the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system is decision making thing. That is, in a given situation, uh, whether we have to give up or not give up. That is fight or flight. The sympathetic nervous system is the reason behind it. And the parasympathetic nervous system pertains to relaxation. After the day's end, uh, this part actually, those hormones and this part actually plays a crucial role in our relaxation. And the third system is our reticular activating system. They help regulate the arousal and attention. Various things. See, when we watch a movie or when we see an art, we are thoroughly impressed by it, and something pleasant comes to us. That arousal is actually created by this reticular activating system. And I mean, when we listen to a speech, they say that the average attention time keeps on getting reduced in the case from 1960s. Our humans, we tend to be attentive lesser and lesser. In a recent study in Japan, they've said that the average attentive time for a human being has come down to 15 seconds. So if a speaker does not impress the person in 15 seconds, the audience will not listen. So this is because of our reticular activating system. You can go to the next slide. So first, the limbic system. So the limbic system is the area of our brain which is most heavily. I mean, that is that has a great effect on our emotion memory, our long-term memory. In our first semester AGP one, I think we have dealt thoroughly with memory. So this structure includes hypothalamus, thalamus, and hippocampus. All these parts constitute the limbic system. So the hypothalamus actually plays an important role in the activating of the sympathetic nervous system. As I said, sympathetic nervous system pertains to our decision making. That is fight or flight. You can always remember that sympathetic nervous system pertains to our fight or flight. The parasympathetic relates to our relaxation mode. You can always relate to that. So then the thalamus. Thalamus actually it is like a sensor. It serves as a sensory relay center. Its neurons project signals to both the amygdala and the higher cortical regions for further processing. The amygdala. Amygdala is as I said, is an important organ. It has a much important role in processing the emotional information and sending that information to the cortical structures. And then the hippocampus. Hippocampus actually integrates the emotional experience with our cognition. That is, uh, several times we have felt that some small battle between our heart and mind, brain. Okay, uh, this hippocampus is crucial when it comes to that battle between the emotions and what we know already, cognition. So this hippocampus is crucial there. You can go to the next slide. So the limbic system is involved with mainly involved with emotion memory. As I said, um, um, they actually dictate our response to the our surrounding environment. Uh, the system categorizes the experience of an emotion as a pleasant or an unpleasant mental state. Whether it is good, our body, our system feels good about it or not. This limbic system decides that. So based on this categorization, neurochemicals such as dopamine, uh, noradrenaline, and serotonin either increase or decrease, causing the brain's activity level to fluctuate. Which ultimately results in the changes in our body movement, our gestures, our various poses. So this limbic system is basically the deciding authority, how to respond. Okay, you can go to the next slide. So I'll this slide is exclusively for amygdala because throughout the history there have been multiple researches on this amygdala. Since amygdala is a small organ located in the left and right temporal lobes of a brain, uh, so they say that it is the basis of our anxiety, our fear. Okay, so this amygdala is like a final judge. It says, see, for example, in a particular environment where there is a in dark tunnel, let's say a dark tunnel, whether we are going to stay scared and remain mute, or we are going to move up and search for light. The amygdala plays an important role. They say so. It handles the external stimuli and induces various reactions to our body. So there are two parts to the amygdala. That is the basolateral complex and the central nucleus. So the basolateral complex has a dense connection with variety of sensory areas of the brain. It plays an important role in conditioning our brain, conditioning our body. I think last semester we have read about classical conditioning. Yes, somebody raised the hand.
Do you have a question? I think she's done it by mistake.
Okay, okay. So classical conditioning, if you recall, it is a type of learning where a neural stimulus becomes associated with the biologically relevant stimulus, leading to a learned response. Uh, Classical conditioning, and then all these things we have already read, so I'm not going to that. Uh, and and what it does is the basolateral complex is what it does is this classical conditioning, what the brain learns, it is attaching an emotional value to the our various learning process and memories. And then the central nucleus. Central nucleus is very much important in our attention. Um, Research actually suggests that amygdala is involved in the mood and anxiety disorders. See, there are three basic disorders that are of interest: mood and anxiety disorders, and then there is a bipolar disorder, and um, and then there is a major depressive disorder. When I go to negative emotions tomorrow, I'll just deal with that. Okay. So it has also been suggested that the fundamental differences in amygdala could be used to differentiate individuals suffering from these disorders, bipolar and major depressive disorders. Next slide. Amygdala will also share some material also. It is a very important organ which defines how we emote ourselves. Okay. And then the hippocampus. Hippocampus is involved in the processing of the emotion. So, uh, see the various disorders we feel. I mean, it might not be a disorder, but this hippocampus, the processing tends to make us feel such. Uh, See, it is like this. Let's say our our spouse or some our children, they feel that at night in their dreams or something they hear something, or some animal, some rat or something runs. Okay, this will not be even true, but what I mentioned is ultimately it gets registered in our brain, and we also tend to get that sense. Okay, the hippocampus is the culprit. It is the main thing responsible for that. So, individuals suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder (PTSD). They they actually show a huge reduction in the several parts of the hippocampus, which will be the result of decreased levels of neurogenesis. Hmm. Dendrites actually. Okay, should I go into the biology aspects? That will be boring. Online, no need, no.
No, it's okay. You can go, please.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah, somewhat. Yeah.
See,
Related to
dendrite.
biology.
Yeah, dendrite is actually, in typically speaking, dendrite is a tree. It is something resembling a tree. So, it is when a nerve cell, neurons, they actually primarily receive the signals from other neurons in the brain. These signals are subsequently transmitted to different parts of our body as electrical impulses, which are then conveyed to the neuron's cell body, which is called as soma. Okay, that is a dendrite. Some you can relate it to something like a branch of a tree receiving that signal and projecting it to the various parts of the tree. Okay, so that is what is about this dendritic branching. Okay. Um, so while it is impossible to determine the actual cause, the various studies have found improvements in the behavior as well as increase in the hippocampal value, uh, following either the pharmacological or cognitive behavioral therapy in individuals suffering from PTSD. Actually, these are the therapies uh, patients undertake for getting relief from the PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. Next slide. Okay, so that is about the limbic system. The second system is our autonomic nervous system. Autonomic nervous system. Now we move on to the peripheral. That is the peripheral nervous system. So far we dealt with the central core, central nervous system. Now to the peripheral nervous system. Though it is regulated by the hypothalamus and controls our internal organs. Autonomic nervous system. Autonomic nervous system is divided into two: sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. Sympathetic nervous system, actually, it is the controller of all our endocrine glands, our hormones pertaining to those endocrine glands. They actually prepare the body to how to react to a sudden emergency. See, somebody throws a stone at us. Uh, it is the ANS which signals our body to react accordingly, either to move away or to block it, whatever. It is the sympathetic nervous system which actually prepares our body for to react for that emergency action. So this SNS activation causes this our adrenal glands to uh, produce something called as epinephrine, which is also known as adrenaline, which results in the fight or flight response. So you might have heard about this adrenaline. Once the secretion of adrenaline starts, it becomes more. Our body function tend to be two times, three times more than our normal functioning. It is like our body is on high alert, something like an ambulance running on the road. Our body is on high alert. Okay, so this fight or flight response involves, as I said, multiple things: increased blood flow to the muscles, increased heart rate, and various other physiological responses that actually enables the body to move much more quickly than our normal movement. Uh, uh, See, actually, emotions you can actually separate it to E and mode. That is mode meaning movement. Okay, so this is a colloquial part of the defining the emotion. So emotion actually from our brain, the body tends to move. That is what is emotion. Emotion is about. In class, if somebody we ask a question and somebody simply ignores our question, the emotion we respond, we show, uh, that is because of this our sympathetic nervous system. It is fundamental. That is the primary cause. And then the second part, that is the parasympathetic nervous system. So it pertains to the part of the day or when our body is relaxed. it helps the body store energy for future use. Um, Actually, our Mr. Freud, Sigmund Freud, actually dealt. He researched a lot about this parasympathetic nervous system, PNA. So that is where he starts talking a lot about dreams, our the states, very stellic states, all these things he talks about when he researched on the parasympathetic nervous system. So the effects of PN activation include some activity in our stomach, and what happens is our digestion gets better, and ultimately the body comes to a somewhat rest. There will be a decreased blood flow to the muscles. We can actually experience that when we say sound sleep. No, that is when our that is because of our actions of the parasympathetic nervous system. You can go to the next slide. So, in a stressful situation, as I said, the first part, that is the the sympathetic system, it actually prepares the body. As I said, the fight or flight. What happens is, if either of the decision, that is either fight or flight, it actually arouses our physiological organs to respond accordingly. Uh, uh, and also, after that threat is moved away, it is the parasympathetic system which actually helps in calming our body. It restores our body to our earlier state, normal state. Uh, I hope it is clear, sympathetic and parasympathetic. Uh, so they are actually complementary to each other. They are both fundamental for our normal being, uh, whichever emotions we express and experience. So this entire process of emotion is actually mediated by the thalamus, which is actually perceiving the particular provocation for that relevant emotion. It actually conveys this information simultaneously to the cerebral cortex uh, and to the skeletal muscles and sympathetic nervous system. The cerebral cortex then determines the nature of the that stimulus, and based on our history, past record, because some similar experiences we might have undergone in the past. So based on that recollection, the cerebral cortex actually prepares the body to prepares the brain to respond to that stimulus. So this determines the subjective experience of the emotion. So at the same time, this our SNS, that is our sympathetic nervous system, alerts our muscles, alerts our body to prepare the physiological reaction. It prompts the individual to act. So they work in tandem, uh, and as I've explained, they try to maintain the body's equilibrium. So equilibrium of the body in which the biological conditions, all our body temperature, heartbeat, our breath, all these things, when it is maintained at optimal levels, that state is called as homeostasis. And Madam already explained that. Uh, it is the maintenance of temperature, blood pressure, heart rate. Yes, ma'am. Next. So we move to the third, that is the reticular activating system. Uh, I'm not able to read that anyway. Okay. So this reticular activating system has decussation of superior peduncle, nucleus of lateral lemniscus, decussation of lemniscus, internal arcuate fibers. Okay, it's a challenge to read even in a text. Next slide. Ma'am. So the RAS reticular activating system is actually a network of neurons that runs through the core of the hindbrain. Hindbrain meaning our behind back part, hindbrain and into the midbrain and the forebrain. The RAS is made up of midbrain reticular formation, the mesencephalic nucleus, mesencephalon, the thalamic intralaminar nucleus, centromedian nucleus, the dorsal hypothalamus, and the tegentem. The reticular activating system is primarily involved in the arousal and attention, sleep and wakefulness, and control of reflexes. Um, it is actually believed that uh, it will first arouse the cortex, and then it maintains alertness, so that the sensory information and emotion can be interpreted more vividly. It helps us fulfill the body's goals, directing our concentration toward the particular stimulus, and it plays an important role in the responses, later responses. Next slide. So that is about our three systems which help us in um, undergoing emotions. Okay. Um, then there are theories. Actually, theories, if I start, it will take some time. So that's why I'm covering theory tomorrow. I'll try to run down. I also have some pictures kind of things too for easy understanding. So I'll cover that part tomorrow. I'll just touch a brief about the cognitive basis of emotions, which is detailed in our Bernstein uh, text. So our many of our researchers actually they feel that our perceptions, memories, and our subsequent interpretations are actually they are all part of our emotions. This SCHCHTER and Singer, Stanley SCHCHTER and Jerome Singer, they have proposed a two-factor theory in which there are two ingredients, that is the physical arousal and the cognitive label. They presume that our experience of emotion actually uh, uh, it is dependent upon that particular moment, how our body gets activated, how our body gets aroused. So they also believe that the emotions are physiologically similar. Okay, they give an example. Your heart beats faster when you're excited or scared or angry. You are physiologically aroused and look to the external world for explanation. Uh, thus, in their view, an emotional experience requires a conscious interpretation of the arousal. So, if you are aroused after physical exercise and someone teases you, the arousal already caused by the exercise may lead to provocation. This particular scene we have seen in many movies. Uh, okay, I'll not go into that. So to test this theory, our researchers, Sesha and Singer, what they did is they injected our test subjects with epinephrine. Epinephrine, adrenaline, what it does is it actually elates our body and it leads to increased activity. So it arouses our body. So then the subjects were asked to observe the people around, either in a euphoric manner, that is an eccentric manner, or in an angry manner. Okay. So what happened? Both these manners actually they influence the cognitive interpretation of the subject's own arousal. Actually, both these study subjects they got aroused by it. They got activated by it. So that is what they say. That is the theory actually. They say that emotions are physiologically similar. Okay, next slide. So that is about the cognitive basis. That is, uh, oh, uh, cognitive basis of emotions is whichever emotion we feel, ultimately it is more or less similar. Based on our knowledge, we experience the emotions in a similar way. That is the theory. Then the cultural basis of emotions. So Here, many studies have said that the basic emotions are actually inborn. That is happiness or anger. All these things are actually inborn. We do not uh, see for a baby, a 2 month baby or a 6 month baby. That baby actually smiles or laughs to certain external actions. These things are not taught to the baby, so that is actually inborn. uh, the baby need not learn from something exterior. So the psychologists have a notion that emotions, especially facial expressions, have a strong biological ties. Mm, in many of our movies, we may see that the child, the younger role actually is much more similar to the father role. Now, all these things. I mean, in your life also, you may have come across many such things. The son or the daughter behaves very much similar to the father. So all these things say that even in emotions, including the facial expressions, have strong biological ties. They give an example. Our text gives an example. That is, children who are visually impaired from birth and who have never observed the smile or the face, the other person's face, still smile or frown in the same way the children with normal vision do. That is what it is about. It is inborn. It is right from the early stage. But on comparing different cultures, we see that learning also plays an important role in emotions. How it happens? Two ways. That is cultural learning. Cultural learning actually influences the expression of emotions more than what is experienced. Uh, See, in certain cultures, mm, through repeated learnings, repeated reinforcements, the people have been taught to express little or emote little in public. So this is nothing but cultural learning. What we call as peer learning in our offices. Second, learning also has a great deal to do with the stimuli that produce these emotional reactions. It has been shown that individuals with excessive fears like people getting into lifts, vehicles, all these things, they try to uh, emote accordingly. Okay, so I've covered the emotions and the basis. So this part done with today. So tomorrow I'll try to quickly run through the theories. Theories we can do quickly, and stress I'll cover later. We'll try to do it tomorrow, or else I'll uh, take the third day, part of the third day.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Any
Yes.
questions? Any questions, or you want to share any example for cultural basis?
Yeah, yeah. I do have a question.
Yeah.
Uh, you were talking about the brain. I sorry, I forgot the part name. Um,
Can be
what
louder, please.
Amygdala.
produces?
Please
Yeah,
louder.
yeah.
Amygdala.
Amygdala. What is the other one? Is the amygdala produces only optimist, or it is also considered as a pessimist? It omits both, or it is just depends upon the optim side.
Uh, See, amygdala is actually it's crucial in actually processing the emotions, mainly the threatening situations when we are scared or when we tend to be angry or when we are cornered. The amygdala plays an important role. At that point of time, it processes our emotions and prompts our body to react at that point of time.
Okay, okay, I understood. Is it only reacting, or it creates the presence of mind? Say, like if a dog chases suddenly, we tend to escape from that. So it is
Yeah.
also it's related to that, right?
And that is what I told. All our
Yeah.
emotions are actually byproducts of our past history. We may have
Uh-huh.
faced these things in the past. So
Okay.
involuntarily, our body tends to behave.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
all these reactions get get into the knowledge of our body over time. Yeah.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir. In this text, no, or Bernstein, they call it the old brain. That is seen as a reservoir of our past experiences. Old brain.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay.